Nelson. I'm Jim Byers. Let's get right on to the analysis of the 12 races. Railbird Rodney last night had a very good night in the handicapping front. Yours truly, not so much. I got out of there okay, but I really didn't finish very well. We'll see if that turns around today. We have a couple of very pivotal scratches throughout the course of the card. We'll pass those along to you. High five carryover. In fact, there's carryovers in the pick five, the six-shooter, and the high five. The high five on the first race, $8,608 in that carryover. Non-winners of two claimers, $4,000 the tag. Let's get our trusty timer started so we try to stay on schedule. And we've got 12 of them. Hey, we're both going straight to the outside.
There we go. I think Rick Lee had this one picked too, the 12.
Yes, he did.
Chicks Fast Strike. I mean, I got to take this one right here. That last race was pretty solid for this horse. Finished second just by a head. That was at a $5,000 condition. But you know what? They're going to drop $1,000 off the claiming price tonight. Angel Sanchez is a trainer. He's already won close to 20 races so far this meet. We've seen horses win from the outside from that 12 post. I'm starting to like that one quite a bit more as the days go on. I'm going to go ahead and take Chicks Fast Strike as my top pick. I'll go with the rail horse, the number 1, JR Fistful of Money, as my second selection here. Last time finished fifth. Was only beaten by a length, though. Beaten by 3/4 the time before that. And then was able to pick up a win back on July the 4th at the Gillespie County Fair. I think JR Fistful of Money will be running very well tonight. Then I went with the 10, Mr. On the Dash, as my third choice right here. A pretty close-up third last time, just missed by a neck. That was at this $4,000 claiming price. Has tried this 350 yards twice. Hasn't finished into money at this distance, so kind of a question mark there, but we'll see what happens. I think Mr. On the Dash can get up there for an on-the-board finish.
I agree. I've got him second here behind Chicks Fast Strike. This is an interesting race because of the conditions. You've got some horses coming out of state-bred races. This is not one of those. You've got horses coming out of non-winners of 3, non-winners of 2. Mr. On the Dash is coming out of an open claiming race, but it was for Texas breds, but open in terms of no restrictions on a certain amount of wins. And then you've got Chicks Fast Strike. And I looked up the conditions of his last race. The condition on that was non-winners of 2 this year, 2020, or non-winners of 4. This is non-winners of 2 in 2019 or 20 with no non-winners of 4 involved. Is that a drop? I kind of think maybe it is very, very slightly. I don't know if it'll matter necessarily in this spot. But a mini drop maybe. Lots of speed last time. Shortens up in distance. I don't mind the outside post here. I'm taking him over Mr. On the Dash. I'm here to party. Third choice. Never seems to get bet very much. But sometimes is right there at the end. That's going to be my third choice. On we go to race number 2, and there is a glut of scratches out of this Arabian contest. The plain 1, Vixen MHF is out, as well as the 3 on the verge, the 9 AA Speedball, who takes a lot of early speed out of this race, and the 11 Uptown Georgie, who also takes a lot of speed out of this race.
Yeah, with those 4 scratches, it leaves us with 8 betting interests here still. So, I mean, even though we had 4 scratches out, it still turns out okay, a pretty decent-sized field. These are the Arabians. They're going 6.5 furlongs. With those scratches, I've been taking the 2, Golly, She's Hot, SV. This is going to be my top pick right here. Was a winner last time out. You know, that came in a low-level stakes out here for these Arabian horses. Won that race by a length and a half. That was at 6 furlongs. She seemed to be widening her lead as they got closer to the finish line. So I'll go ahead and take the 2 here in race number 2. Second choice, I'll go with the 5 and Consider These. 2 races for this horse. Was a winner in the debut that came back at Delaware at the 6 furlong distance. Most recently ran out there as well at the end of September. That was a 1-mile race. Finished third in that one. Was beaten pretty decently in that one. But the horse that won First Class, I think we saw First Class come out here and win a race out here this year, one of these Arabians. So did end up losing to a horse that won again out here. But I don't know. I like the 5. I think this horse is definitely under consideration here. And then I went with the 4, RB Game Over, as my third choice. A third last time out. Won the debut 2 starts back. there's a lot to like about this horse. Ernesto Torres, the trainer, seems like I'm always picking him in these Arabian races. Hadn't fired many as of late, but still out of his 16.
He hasn't even started that.
Yeah, but out of his 16 starts, does already have 4 wins out here this year. So a pretty high percentage there, 25% or so. I'm going to go ahead and take the 4 as my third choice.
What's interesting about RB Game Over is simply, is he ever going to behave? He's the horse, we brought this up all the time. He raced here, or he was going to race here on October 3rd. I liked him that night, flipped in the gate and was scratched. He didn't behave very well when he came back on October 17th. He's had all kinds of start trouble. His maiden win at Delaware was certainly impressive, albeit against what was possibly an empty field. I'm just waiting for him to come around. I've got him third here as well. I went with Consider This. The question there is, can she close ground? Her maiden win at Delaware was very impressive on the front end. Now, with some of the speed scratched out of here, she might be able to be close to the lead or be right up on the lead. And, the horse that she faced last time, First Class, is 3 for 5, is also in the Jeremiah Castro stable, and is a really nice horse. So I took her over Golly She's Hot SV. It's worth pointing out that stakes race that she won last time was against maidens. So I don't want to say it was a glorified maiden race, but it was for maidens.
True.
Glorified or not. And then I took RB Game Over third. I mean, the pace picture is going to be interesting there just because a lot of early speed was scratched out of that race. On we go to race number 3. Texas-bred maiden claiming 2-year-olds here go 350.
Yeah, I'm on to number 3. This looks to be a pretty decent-sized favorite here in this race, I believe. That's going to be a Trace of Diamonds. I'm guessing this horse is the one to beat. The 4 races that this horse has run all came out at Ruidoso. Has never run this 350-yard distance, but performed well out in Ruidoso, you could say. I mean, 2 starts back, was second in a futurity trial race out there. That was at the 400-yard distance, so was going to have to cut some back tonight. But I think the class of horses and their ability out in Ruidoso is probably better than a lot of these here in this race, it looks like to me. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 3, A Trace of Diamonds on top. I'll take the 6, Famously Dashing By, as my second choice. I'm always looking for those horses on their second start, either second start lifetime, second start after a layoff. I always think there's some improvement there. Famously Dashing By fits the bill here. I mean, we got one of the top trainers in terms of wins and top jockey in the colony, and Luis Vivanco riding this horse. So I think Famously Dashing By might be a decent play at 8-1. And then I'll take Blazing Pool. That's your number 2 horse as my third pick here. A solid third last time, just missed by half a length. Has run this distance before. That was in the debut. Didn't do too hot in that one, but we'll see if that recent race with that decent finish can propel this horse to hit the board.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by him, too. I mean, we have the same picks in the same order, but Blazing Pool, Antibes, Busted Cartel, and Bombshell at the Bar all come out of the same race. A race that was similar to this one, but a slightly higher claiming price. Blazing Pool ran the best race of that group, was only beaten a half length. But figure-wise, I mean, A Trace of Diamonds just seems to stand out. Now, I thought that about the favorite in the last race last night, and it didn't work out that way, obviously. But, it seems like it's graduation time for A Trace of Diamonds. If he doesn't graduate now, I mean, an even deeper drop, if that's possible, might be in order. But, I mean, right now, we don't drop him any farther than State Bred 5,000. So I really like his chances in here off what I've seen. And Famously Dashing By does stand to improve, I would think, in start 2. On to the 4th. I think there's a lot of contention in here. Now, I don't know if that's really necessarily the case anymore. I still think it is, but number 1, I'm Just Dashing is out, and that takes a huge contender out of this one. These are 2-year-olds, starter allowance, which is kind of interesting, or non-winners of 2.
Yeah, I went with the 5 and Charcoal Broiler in this one right here. That last race that this horse ran was pretty impressive to me out here at Lone Star Park. I mean, the horse was able to get in front and just extend that lead all the way down the track, it seemed like. No one was even close to her. And you got to take a look at the horses that Toby Keaton has been sending out. They've been winning at a pretty decent clip as of late. Top jockey on this one as well. I think there's a lot to like about the 5. I'll take the horse on the outside, the 8, VF Showtime, as my second selection. This horse was a winner last time out. It was at a shorter distance, but it did come out here on our track. If you take a look at the last time this horse ran 3:30, finished second just by a neck. I mean, that was 2 starts back. That October start out here at Lone Star Park was the first time after being off since July. This one right here fits that bill coming off the second start after a layoff too. I think VF Showtime might be one to watch here from the outside. And then I'll take the 6 Lone Star as my third selection here. A win 2 starts back that came at Retama Park at the end of August. That was when this horse was able to break her maiden. Came back and was in a starter race last time. Finished 4th in that one. I'm Just Dancing was in that one. That's the horse that scratched out of the 1. But, I think that the 6 Lone Star can get up there and hopefully hit on those tickets for those tries.
Yeah, I've got her 4th as well. We're very similar here. I mean, Charcoal Broiler has a couple of siblings, one named Strip Steak, who is a Canadian sensation up in Alberta, has won something like 11 of 19 or 11 of 20 and has run in a couple of Bank of America Challenge championships. Charcoal Broiler kind of made like her brother in that last race. I mean, just drove off and won very impressively. I'm going to tab her right back here. I mean, that was just a perfect type race, and sometimes it's scary to take a horse that comes off a career best because, as Gary West always says, there's only been one set of back-to-back no-hitters. But I think she kind of has this group over a barrel. And VF Showtime comes off a really nice win and is very quick. And then my third pick is going to be Mosaic. This horse changed barns, went from Blaine Wood to Frank Mendez for this start. Ricky Ramirez, though, gets the ride. I don't normally pick horses because of the rider, but it's intriguing that Ricky would get on this horse, and especially being a former Blaine Wood trainee. Let's move on to the 5th. Optional claimer here, non-winners of 3 other than or non-winners of 4 lifetime, and they're going 400 yards.
Yeah, I'm on the 5, Effortless Candy Cat. I really wanted to take the 1 in this one, but I'm not favoring. I don't see the 1 post position out here. Doesn't seem to be doing as well as some of those horses out in the middle. So that's what made me pick the 5 over the 1 here. Was a winner last time out. That was an Allowance company. Came right out here on our track at 400 yards. So putting all those things together, Effortless Candy Cat looks like a horse that can win this race. DM La Jolla Cartel. This is a horse that we've seen run out here 3 times this year. I think I probably picked this horse every time. This is one of them that I liked from last year out here as well. A second most recently in that last start, just by a neck, which was at this 400-yard distance. The horse is no stranger to running 400 yards either. Has 3 wins out of 9 tries, and also has a couple wins out here at Lone Star Park. So a lot to like about DM La Jolla Cartel. And then I'll take the number 7 horse, Sister Sophia, as my third choice. This is one that I feel like at a price could get up there and could win this race. I mean, you never know. That's why we run the races. But this horse has had some stakes races in the past. If you take a look, this horse won the New Mexico Breeders' Derby back at the Downs at Albuquerque last year. Has only had 2 starts this year, 1 in January, 1 in October on this track. Just like I talked about the last 2 races, second start after a layoff. This Sister Sophia fits it right here. I think this might be one to watch. And at 10-1 on the morning line, this is one that could make this race pay very well.
Well, and she exits a really, really good race. I mean, Serendipity Rocks is outstanding, and she was well beaten off slow. And if you get off slow in a field like that, I mean, you absolutely have no chance. And she's earned $150,000 plus. I think she's got a shot in here as well. The rail scares me a little with DM La Jolla Cartel. But I took him. He just exits the strongest race. I mean, Kiss My What's a really, really nice horse. And I couldn't look past this logical selection, even though the rail situation does bother me a little bit. And worth noting, the DM La Jolla Cartel also raced in that October 11th Serendipity Rocks Allowance race that Sister Sophia comes out of. And the horse that I'm intrigued with is Luchador, 3-year-old taking on older. He did that early in the year at Remington, won both of those races. One of them he was disqualified for, but, has beaten Elders, earlier in the year. Ran in the Grade 3 Adequan Derby Championship just a couple of weeks ago in Albuquerque. He didn't really get involved in that race. Not sure how he's going to fare here. This is a pretty good allowance optional claiming group. But I took Luchador second, Sister Sophia third, and I have your Effortless Candy Cat fourth. I think this is one of the more interesting dashes on the card.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just talked me into Luchador, playing Luchador on my ticket as well. So, I mean, he's made a solid case for the horse, no doubt about it.
You know, on his best game, I think he could run with these. We'll see if it's tonight. On to the sixth. Maiden Claimers, 3-year-olds and up, in for $5,000 claiming tags, and they'll go $350.
Yeah, I'm on the 9, Peyton's Jazz and High. This horse has finished second in 2 out of the last 3 races, including one of them out here on the 5th of September. That was the opening weekend of our meet. That was at this 350-yard distance where the horse has run it 3 times. Alonzo Neary, the trainer, he's winning about 25% or so. So a quarter of the race horses he sends out are winners, just a little bit under that. But I think that Peyton's Jazz and High is one to watch here in the 6th. Second selection, I'm going to go with the 5, Miss Blue Together. This horse has always been up toward the front in most of the races right here. I mean, the last 2 were the 2 starts in 2020 for this horse, a second and a third, just losing by half a length in both of them. I think this is one to watch. Take a look at the 5, Miss Blue Together. And then I'll take the 11, La Desiree, as my third selection here. This is another horse that's been up close in most of the races. Doesn't have a start at this 350-yard distance. It's probably be the longest this horse has ever run. So we'll see if stretching out a little bit can't benefit La Desiree, the 11.
You know, I'm behind Peyton's Jazz and High as well, with the one proviso that, I mean, this filly's had a lot of chances, and she's starting to become something of a money burner. Now, maybe Neri can turn that around. In the Evangeline Downs Derby trials last night, over in Appaloosa, he qualified half the field in that Derby, which the final of that will be run after our meet's over. But I think all of those horses, or 4 of the 5 of them, ran here at our meet. But, Neri, I mean, if anyone's going to get a win out of her, and she should win. I mean, this is a logical spot for her. He's the one to do it. My second pick is the 5, Ms. Blue Together. You know, to me, this was kind of a close call with Peyton's Jazz and High. Ms. Blue Together comes out of a nice race. According to my PPs, and I'd like to check, I should have checked on this before we started, hasn't worked since. Peyton's Jazz and High did have a work on Veterans Day, November 11th, at the Silver Star Equine Center, 2:20 on a fast track and 13:10 breezing, because I was kind of wondering what's Peyton's Jazz and High been up to, since she hasn't raced since opening weekend and hadn't shown a work either. So I'm going 9, 5, 10. Just Fine Wine, dropping into a maiden claimer for Tony Cedillo. I mean, she kind of needs to wake up a little bit, but maybe the change in scenery and a little mini layoff will help her. I have her as a third pick. On we go to race 7. Now, this one begins the 6-shooter, carryover of $2,975. Bunch of scratches out of here, and it's unfortunate because both Rick Lee and I had the one Cancelman on top off a really nice win here opening weekend, and followed that up with a win at Evangeline. But Cancelman's out, the 4 and the 5 are both out, so there's no show and no super on the 7th race.
Yeah, so we got 5 horses left. We should be able to pick a winner out of our top 3 here, right?
I'm not going to go so far as to say that, because I think I had a 5-horse field yesterday, and one of the races Tudor Jordan won. I didn't have him anywhere.
I think it was that last trial for
I got schooled in thoroughbreds taking on quarter horses at 870. I think from now on I'm going to lean toward the short liners in those 870 races.
Well, you know what? It's kind of funny that you say that, because our top pick here. Look, Silver City Thoroughbred is the sire of this horse.
I like thoroughbred sires of 870 horses, or dam sires. But last night, the thoroughbreds...
Yeah, they didn't have it.
A fast thoroughbred and a fast quarter horse, for about the first 600 yards, the quarter horse is going to be in front all
Those
day.
Thoroughbreds were
Twice on
gaining
Sunday.
on them, though. I mean, we had
They
some
were.
run second.
Most of them were, yeah.
Anyway,
sure.
let's get back to race number 7. Around the hook, 870 yards. Silver City Lights, my top selection right here. I like the dad of this horse. Silver City is one of my favorite Texas sires out here for younger horses. I mean, it seems like during thoroughbred season, his 2-year-olds come out here and perform very well. So that's one of those names that I've recognized for being out here for a while. But Silver City Lights, I mean, this horse won 2 stakes races this year already down at Retama Park. Most recently came here, ran in an allowance race around that hook, finished second in that one. To a horse that's in here, that is going to be my second pick. Favorite Cool Cartel was the one that won that race. Finished second to this one in that San Marcos Stakes at Retama. So the 6 and the 7, they've been running against each other quite a bit. Seems like they're trading wins in the last couple of races. But I'm going to go ahead and put my check mark on the 6 here in this race over the 7. And then my third selection is going to be your 3 horse. That is Love to Zoom. This horse was a winner last time out. I mean, that was a solid race. No doubt about it. Won it by 3/4 of a length. Came up short the race before that, but was able to take home some purse money with a second place finish. I'm going to go ahead and take Love to Zoom as my third choice here around the hook. So I got it 6, 7, and 3.
And I'm similar. I went 6, 7, 8. You know, Silver City Lights and Favorite Cool Cartel are interesting because I favored Silver City Lights last time that they met. I had him second, Favorite Cool Cartel third, and I picked somebody that finished somewhere other than winning on top. And Favorite Cool Cartel not only beat him, but he beat him soundly. Now, that being said, like you mentioned, 2 races ago, Silver City Lights beat Favorite Cool Cartel in a close finish. This is a very small sample size, but it seems like whichever of those 2, and this does seem like a match race on paper, much like their last 2 races, whoever has the inside speed tends to win. 2 starts ago, Silver City Lights was drawn inside of Favorite Cool Cartel, led him in 1. It was reversed last time. We'll see what happens here. Favorite Cool Cartel on his best day with his A race is probably better. But Silver City Lights, he can beat him. So, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, Clayton Kershaw is better than, I don't know, some other pitcher, but it doesn't mean he's going to beat him every single time. Something like that. I think Favorite Cool Cartel, though, I mean, his race last time was absolutely spectacular, so I'm going to play the double no-hitter theory again and pick Silver City Lights. On to the 8th. Start of the pick 5. Carry over in that wager, $1,742. I mean, Rodney didn't, but I found it hard to circle in on winners last night. Hence, nobody hit the pick 6 as far as 6 out of 6, and nobody had all 5 in the pick 5. Scratch the 1 Timurid Special. The 8th is a starter optional claimer.
I'm on the number 2 in Baller here in this race. I really like the way that Baller's been running. I mean, in 2020, this horse has started 4 times, 2 of those being wins, a couple seconds out of them. Of course, was disqualified out of 1, but, I mean, still was able to cross that finish line above some of the other ones. I mean, there were some next out winners that this horse has run against as well. I think there's a lot to like about Baller in this situation. I think this is going to be a nice spot. This 350 yards. I mean, Baller's run it 7 times. He's picked up 3 wins out of those 7 starts. I really like the 2 here. I'm going to go with the 3 First Moon Game as my second selection. Almost picked up that win last time out at the $10,000 level. Missed it by a head. Was acting up in the gate. So, I don't know. I mean, horses that act up in the gate, I don't know what it is about them, but some of them get out there and fire, and that's kind of like what this one did right here. I mean, got out there and fired. Led it coming out of the gate pretty much, and just
bore
lost.
out too.
Yeah, and just
bore
lost
out
by
that
a
race
head
pretty badly.
So I don't know if this horse can put it together in the gate and run straight down the lane. I think First Moon Game would be able to pick up the win here, or at least come close behind Baller. And then my third pick, I'm going to go with the number 6 horse, Corona Sin Fin. I want to say I picked this horse last time out. It was a winner by a head. As a matter of fact, this horse has put together back-to-back wins, one in August, one in September. We'll see if November this horse can't get up and do something pretty nice here tonight in race number 8.
I think this race is pretty wide open. I really belabored the point trying to figure out if I wanted to take Baller on top. 2 races back at Retama, he was disqualified for an off-the-track violation, And I just don't like playing horses back that have that because they just never seem to quite run back. I don't know. I think Baller on paper is the best in here, but I took First Moon Game. Broke well last time despite being fractious and despite bearing out and still almost won the race. I was only beaten a nose and a head for it all. I think a repeat, if he behaves a little better, he's got a shot at a little bit of a price maybe. So I took 3, 2, 4. One that I'm kind of curious about is the 11 Alluring Winner for Alonzo Neri. Drawn toward the outside. Seems to like Lone Star. 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 4 career starts. It's kind of out there toward the outside. 10 to 1 on the line. I'm kind of curious to see how the betting goes on Alluring Winner. That's my 4th choice. Let's move ahead to the 9th. Allowance, Fillies, and Mares, non-winners of 2.
I've got the 8 Dancer on top here. You take a look. I mean, out of the last 5 starts, dating back a little over a year ago, this horse hadn't finished any worse than second. And those seconds were all pretty close, too. A couple of them by a head, most recently by half a length. In that most recent race, which came at 400 yards out here, the horse ran, like I said, Dancer ran second, beat a horse, Kiss My Astica, who went on as the fastest qualifier for the Texas Classic. In a couple weeks. So something to be said for that. Kiss My Astica obviously is fast enough to qualify for that huge race. But, Dancer, like I said, has a win this year, a couple seconds recently. The horse has ran second every time this has stepped up foot on our Lone Star Park course out there. I don't know. I like Dancer. I think there's a lot to like about this horse, and that's where my money's going in race number 9. Second choice, I took the 5 in Jen's Dynasty. This horse was a winner last time out, right out here at Lone Star Park, so looking to put together back-to-back wins. But if you take a look at all the races that this horse has run, they've all been pretty good. This horse has earned a little bit of money, a couple seconds, a third, all of them being pretty close. So I think that Jen's Dynasty can run well here. And then I took Americana, that's your number 9 horse, as my 3rd selection. I think you can kind of draw a line out of that last race. The horse was well beaten in that one, but all the races before that was up there close. Most of them in Allowance company. I think that Americana can do well here.
Yeah, I agree. I have her second. I think this race, Dancer is overwhelmingly the one to beat, and I think she will be a pretty short price in here. She ran her absolute eyeballs out last time behind Max Lady M, who subsequently ran second to Cat Daddy's Little Girl, who was that mare a couple of weeks ago that beat SS Classy Jess here. Max Lady M's having a really good meet, and you mentioned Kiss My Astica. That speaks for itself. That's a level of competition that some of these others have not been competing in. So I took her clearly over Americana and Jen's Dynasty, who did win a really nice race from an eye appeal standpoint. It was, however, against Texas-bred maiden fillies, but it was still very impressive. On to the 10th, Lone Star, Peyton, Appaloosa, Claiming, Derby. And I think both these paint races tonight are intriguing because I think there's multiple ways you could go in some of these.
Yeah, I went with the number 9 here in the Derby. Gets Cat Dash Wired. This horse was the quickest horse to qualify for this race. Won the trial race by a length and 3/4, so a pretty good margin at the 350-yard distance that Cat Dash Wired was able to put together. I took 10 Invisible Paintbrush as my second choice. This was the winner of his trial race as well. And then I took Jess Cruz in the number 2 as my 3rd selection. This horse finished right behind Invisible Paintbrush last time out, just by a neck. That's just the way that I see it here. I don't really have too much to elaborate on for these horses, but I think that Cat Dash Wired, I'm just counting on that nice margin of victory, that fastest time to get into this race right here to be your winner.
Yeah, I agree. Matt Whitekiller does a great job with paints and apps. Last time, Ricky Ramirez, knowing that there weren't a lot of trials, I think there were just 2 trials for this, and this filly was going so easily, he was able to kind of wrap up on her, which you can't always see in trials because obviously you have to set a fast time. But, as it mentions here in Heath Belvore's comment, hand ride, it was a really skillful ride. So I think she's probably still going to have quite a bit left in the tank. I like her a lot here over Jess Cruz and an Invisible Paintbrush. Now, let's watch a video here in the 11th. This race is intriguing because We're going to watch WF Turnpike Candy, the 4 in here. The yellow silks. Watch the 4. Breaks right, breaks toward the grandstand, bumped, and now gets into this rollicking three-way driving finish where he just finishes second by a nose behind Jess Wishin, who is in this race as well. Three-way driving finish, and the horse we were featuring there was the inside runner. WF Turnpike Candy, very poor start last time and bumped. Has been there all year, won a futurity early in the year at Remington, qualified for some others. I'm taking him back. I didn't pick WB Stevie Nicks last time, and she just ran an absolutely perfect race. I mean, if she runs that race again, and if she breaks like that, it's all over. But I took her second and Just Wishing third.
Yeah, this is going to be a solid race. It's going to be a fun one. I got Just Wishing on top. I'm going to go ahead and take this horse has won 3 in a row. I know WF Turnpike Candy, if that horse would have got out and ran straight last time, probably picked up the win. But there's something to be said for winning multiple races in a row. Looking for number 4 in a row. That's 7, Just Wishing. Over the number 8, WF Turnpike Candy will be my second choice here. And then WB Stevie Nicks, my third selection. I mean, looking for back-to-back wins. This horse has won 3 out of the last 4. I think that WB Stevie Nicks, you got to take a look at this one as well. But I think these 3 are the 3 standouts in this race. Looking for some other horses for that super. I don't know, hit that all button maybe and catch your price.
I did spread out in my proposed pick 4 for TVG, and I included Tails You Lose, Separate Wagons, who got a really unpleasant start last time at even money in that race with WB Stevie Nicks, and that was my pick that day. I tried to beat WB Stevie Nicks that night too. So I do think you can spread out in that particular race. But I like WF Turnpike Candy if he can get out halfway straight. And that is a question with these paints and apps is how straight are they going to break and how straight are they going to run? You never really know. Let's swing over and look at video of Give In. She's Relentless, who will be a heavy favorite in the 12th and final. We're going to watch the 7 here in the highlighted area. We're just mainly watching this because this is an outstanding effort. Gets away cleanly, goes to the front at the outset. This was against Maidens on October 3rd, going 400 yards. Wow, What a Dynasty is going to get up and win the race. But given She's Relentless just runs an absolute monster race. Wow, What a Dynasty is super, super nice. And got up and beat him. Wow, What a Dynasty subsequently won a Texas Classic Derby trial and qualified 6th fastest. So given She's Relentless, got away well, ran well, got caught at the end, but now, there's no Wow, What a Dynasties in here. So I like her considerably over the 5, Praying on Temptation, and the 2, Without a Trace.
Yeah, everything you said about Given She's Relentless is true. One of the angles that I took that helped me pick this horse on top was I've been talking most of the year about horses that have been running in Louisiana and they coming out here running well at Lone Star. This is one that fits it right here, having those first 4 starts over in Louisiana. Coming out here and coming a nose close to breaking her maiden. I think that this is the winner here in this race. Without a Trace, I took that Without a Trace as my second choice. 1 start for this horse. It was a solid 3rd out here at Lone Star Park. I'm always looking for that improvement from race 1 to race 2. This one right here, Ricky Ramirez aboard, I think is one that is worth taking a look at, those 10-1 morning line odds. And then the 5, Praying on Temptation as my 3rd selection here out of 3 starts. This horse has a couple seconds. Was in a challenge race last time out, finished 4th. Has had a little bit of time off, so we'll see how this filly does stepping back on the track tonight in race 12.
The one thing about Praying on Temptation, that is a layoff, but does have an almost thoroughbred-like work tab with the work on September 5th and September 22nd and October 4th and November 1st. That's usually how you see thoroughbreds trained up off a layoff. I still couldn't use her any higher than second. The one thing I would say about Give In She's Relentless, if the race were 350 or 330, I think she'd be 3 to 5. She's probably going to be 8 to 5 because, she's run some really nice races, but I'm not sure 400 is her best distance. But I still think she has she is the legitimate favorite. One note about Without a Trace, I think I pointed this out before. All About Ease, Without a Trace's dam, also produced Shazak, who was a tremendous graded stakes winner, won the Ruidoso. Actually, All About Ease won the Ruidoso Futurity. Shazak was a really good Southern California stakes horse a couple of years ago. So there's some breeding there. And Lapather is kind of interesting as well, my fourth pick here. I thought Lapather ran pretty well behind a really strong winner in Stranglehold last time. All right. Well, we got it done. Good luck in your previews. You have some good weather tonight, a little cooler than last night.
Yeah, but not a cloud in the sky,
yeah,
so it's a little bit different than yesterday, but it's going to be nice.
Should be a beautiful night for the races. 6:05 the first post. Good luck.